Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's lesson. I probably do not appear in the corner of your screen because my camera on my laptop is not working very well, so you can still hear me and you can still see the screen, so just follow along. It's going to be the same thing, you just won't be able to see me in the corner. So let's go ahead and get started with lesson 21. As I mentioned yesterday, we are moving through the lesson, the reading's a little bit faster. A lot of us have not been keeping up with the reading, so we need to make sure that we're reviewing the videos, that we're following up with summaries of the chapters. If you are really behind in any of the readings, please let me know and I'll give you some resources so you can catch up. As I mentioned yesterday, we also have the Rent Star testing. I posted about it on the general page, so make sure that you scroll up and see that. I'll probably post it again today. Also remember that we have the end of year assessment, end of module assessment on Wednesday. So make sure that you're keeping up with your readings. In today's lesson, we're going to cover chapter 24, 25, and 26. So let's go ahead and get started. So chapter 24 begins by talking about how Matilda, well, if you remember the chapters that we covered yesterday, they're talking about how Maddie's grandpa died and then she was alone, and somehow she ran into this orphan kid named Nell, and then they were walking and they find Elisa, the free slave that used to work with them at the coffee shop, and that's where Maddie's been staying, and they try to take her to the orphanage and they didn't really accept her, so Elisa's kind of taking care of her and now. So Matilda begins helping Elisa take care of fever patients. As you can remember, the Free Slave Association is taking care of people who are sick, and Elisa's part of it. And now Maddie has been joining her, and they're both working very hard. They're leaving the house at first light and then working until dark. Matilda isn't prepared for the intensity of what she's going to witness because there's a lot of dead people, there's dying women surrounded by children, there's full houses of sick people, the smell of death is really bad, there's a lot of people in really bad conditions, so for a kid to see that, it's a little bit hard, but she's trying her best to help out. Elisa and Matilda spend the rest of the day taking care of the Sharp family, and they're still going to houses to wash the sick room. The day is long, but Elisa tries to send Maddie home. However, Maddie insists on staying and working. She knows that there's a lot of work and not enough hands for help. So then the two move on to the Gundy sisters. Elisa and Matilda return home at last to find the unthinkable. The children, Robert, William, and Nell, have so after working very hard helping those who are sick, they show up to their house, and turns out the 3 kids they're taking care of have all catch the yellow fever, so now they're worried about that. They also realize that the rooms in Elisa's brother's house, Joseph, is very hot and stuffy, and that's not going to help the kids at all, so Matilda suggests to take the children to the coffee house. So the reason why she had fled was because it hadn't become a safe place, but now that she has Elisa, they're going to work together to move back to the coffee house and try to help the children that are sick at the moment. In chapter 25, Elisa and Matilda transport back the kids to the coffee house, and they make a sick room in the cool downstairs of the coffee house. So remember, what they want to do is they want to keep them refreshed, they want to keep them fed and clean. They decide to leave the windows open since Elisa's armed with a knife and Matilda has her grandfather's sword. So the night is catching up with them, and of course both Elisa and Matilda are scared of another intruder coming into the house and hurting them, so they don't really sleep much that night, and they're just really protecting themselves and protecting the children. The next day, Liz and Matilda begin to work hard on nursing the sick. They're fanning the children, they're getting water, they're washing the beddings, and the night is melted into the day. They surrender by night. So they're just working nonstop. They're not only helping the kids that are sick, but they're also helping those who are sick in the city. The supply of food and medicine begin to dwindle. Alyssa is suggesting for the children to get bled, but Matilda argues against it. If you remember at the in the previous chapters, when Matilda got sick and they had her in Bush Hill, the French doctors did not take out blood out of the patients because they didn't believe in it, in comparison to the doctors in Philadelphia. So Matilda's arguing against Alyssa bleeding the kids. So she tells Alyssa of the other treatments that she had at Bush Hill, and even though Alyssa's kind of doesn't really know if to do it or not, in the end she waits and she doesn't call the doctors to take out the blood. So the night drags on and Matilda goes outside to fetch her more water. Of course, she's really tired because she's been taking care of all these sick people, and she's been there's a lack of food. She's still very hungry. She's still not gotten the nutrition that she needs. So she's very exhausted, nearly delirious. And as the wind blows across her face, she shivers and falls asleep in the garden. So she's so exhausted, she just kind of falls in the garden and falls asleep. So in chapter 26, Matilda's woken up in the morning by Silas. If you don't remember who Silas is, that's the cat. And it's slapping on her cheek. And even though it's no surprise compared to what she's seen on the ground, there's frost. So she wakes up, the cat wakes her up, and then she realizes that there's frost. And a lot of them were looking forward to the cold season because they said that once it started getting cold, the winter arrived, that the fever was going to die off. So Alyssa stumbles outside and she sees that Matilda's laughing and jump of joy, celebrating the cold weather, and they bring the children outside to cool them down. So this is finally like a positive thing that's happening to them. Also another positive thing that's happening in this chapter is that the messenger from Joseph soon arrives with the food. The farmers are back in town. So the frost is really like making everything be better. The farmers are back, there's more food, the prices are dropping, the yellow fever cases are probably going to go down, so everyone's very, very happy. And then Joseph arrives the next day with news that the market has officially reopened, and Matilda goes and visits the market to go see what she can get. She picks up some vegetables and hard candy for the children, and suddenly someone puts a hand on Matilda's elbow, and it, to her surprise, is Nathaniel Benson, her crush. So she's super excited, and they're super excited to see each other, and he offers to walk her home. And on their way back, he tells Matilda the activities at the Pell House. So that's where he has been kind of surviving the fever this whole time that Maddie's mom was sick and she had to go to the farm and she was left out and she got sick during all that time. That's where Nathaniel has been, and he's happy that they survived, but he's also talking about the struggles that they had to face too. So he talks about how the only way that they survived was by eating Mrs. Pell's taxidermy specimens. So if you don't know what a taxidermy is, it's when the dead animals are stuffed with kind of like cotton and they get hardened. So what I'm guessing what they did was they would eat the skin or whatever was left of that. So it's kind of gross, but I mean it was survival, so they had to do what they had to do. And then Nathaniel predicts that Matilda's mother will be home soon, and the two say their goodbyes, and Matilda's thoughts run through her mother. So at this point, Matilda knows that her mom's alive, but she's not really sure where her mom is at, and she doesn't know if she's gonna come back or if something else happened to her. So she's just hoping that she'll come home soon and then she'll be able to see her. And that's kind of where chapter 26 leaves off. So like I said, just try to make sure you're getting through the readings. And by tomorrow you should be done with chapter 27, 28, and 29. Like I mentioned, they do sound like a lot of chapters, but they're really short, so please read through them. If you are very behind, make sure you message me on the readings so I can give you some resources so you can catch up. Make sure that you complete the attendance form. Today we don't have any homework besides catching up with our readings. You should be in chapter 14 of An American Plague. And also, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, make sure that you complete your reading Renstar by Wednesdays, 0513. Make sure that you're done by then. If not, Miss Hinojosa is going to be reaching out to you. Admin's going to start calling home. So make sure that you get that done and we get it out of the way. Also, make sure that you complete those student parent surveys. Those are very, very important for us. And if you complete the Renstar, you get an extra 50 points in any low grade that you might have. And if you complete the student parent surveys, you get also 15 extra points. So make sure that you complete those and that you're catching up with your readings, and just prepare for tomorrow's assessment. I will be going live on Wednesday, so make sure that you make time for that and that you're ready to answer the call at 9:15. The only reason why I'm going to be calling is so we can make sure that we can review the assessment together, and I'm going to open the file and show you how it looks and show you what I'm asking you to do and answering any other questions that you might have. So remember, Wednesday, 9:15 a.m., we're going to have a live class. Make sure that you finish your Renstar by Wednesday and that you turn in the student parent surveys as soon as possible. If you have any other questions, please feel free to message me. Let me know if you need anything else, and I'll make sure to reach back as soon as possible. Hope everyone has a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow in our live class. Bye.